Can you hear me? Can you hear me? We got audio now? All right, because I just, thank you very much. I just turned on my microphone because, in case you guys didn't know, I tend to be an idiot every now and then. But welcome to Election Day 2024, a big day in the United States. Let me tell you, this guy back here in Russia is very excited for today. We don't know if we're going to have good news or bad news or otherwise, but either way, we have got some stuff to talk about. My partner in crime, actually my partners in crime, are a no-show at the moment. I might have Kevin join in a little bit. That's to be seen, but if not, nothing else. You got me, baby. You got me. Okay, had to unmute the mic there. All right, so how is everybody doing? I got Edelwolf, I got Chris, G-Man, who else here is in the chat? Raymond, hey Raymond, good to see you. Got Christopher, Igor in Russia, what's going on, my man? All right, everybody, welcome and thank you. Have you voted? If you're in the United States and if you're in the chat, write it down below. Have you voted? Don't have to tell me who you voted for. Just let me know that you have voiced your opinion on today. So, interesting news. I heard from Kevin earlier, so I don't know if this is true or not, but I think I can vouch for him. Let's see. Christopher voted. Edelwolf voted. Fantastic. Fantastic. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. We have learned some news. Kevin was telling me that exit polls cannot be made public until 5 p.m. I guess that's going to be 5 p.m. Eastern time in the States. So no exit polling data that I'm going to have for you on this live stream, unfortunately, because 5 p.m. in the States is going to be 2 a.m. here in Moscow. And that's past my bedtime. So unfortunately, we won't have that information for you. But some interesting news coming out. We already hear, where have you heard this before? Let me put this up here. From Politico, just yesterday, Russian disinformation accelerates toward the election. Yeah, so Russia is back in the news suddenly. And even though President Putin has come out, and of course this is tongue-in-cheek, but he did throw his support to Kamala Harris, still, they say he's meddling in the U.S. election. And Politico is getting ahead of this story. This was yesterday. And Russian disinformation accelerates toward the election. That's pretty interesting that Politico came out with this yesterday. And then just today, in fact, let me find it here on my phone. This just came out today from Foreign Agent Intel on his Telegram channel. And let me play this short little clip for you.
That's the only places that we've heard about one bomb threat. Have you heard any other verifiable threats at any point?
We've heard some threats that were of Russian origin, and so I don't know how to describe if that's viable. We don't think they are, but in the interest of public safety, you always check that out, and we'll just continue to be very responsive when we hear about stuff like that. We identified the source, and it was from Russia.
Can you elaborate on that? What kind of threats from Russia?
As he said, it's a bomb threat.
So,
yeah.
Russia, and you're confident of the Russians that did?
Yeah, just like we had the DDoS attack on Monday, October 14th, 420,000, pings denial of service from Russians. So we added that interface that said, I am a human, I'm not a robot. So they're up to no mischief, it seems, and they don't want us to have a smooth, fair, and accurate election, and anything they can get us to fight among ourselves, they can count that as a victory. So that tells you a little bit about the Russians. They're not our friends. Anyone that thinks they are hasn't been reading the newspapers. Thank you so much.
So apparently you have to be reading the newspapers to know that Russia is not a friend of the United States of America. Wow, that was a lot of BS that the Georgia Secretary of State first said. So the first thing he says is, we believe that it is not a viable threat. So right then and there, they just say it's BS. But we see that it is from Russian origin. So they're saying the Russians basically say, we're going to bomb, or we set up a bomb, or whatever they said. But we don't believe them, you know? Well, if it's not a viable threat, why even talk about it? Why even talk about it? So when you see this coming out today, and then again, you've got Politico, and not only Politico, but excuse me, not only Politico, because I saw this story in several different venues, but Russian disinformation accelerates toward the election. So they're getting ready to talk about Russia, 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 if this election goes toward Trump. I mean, that's pretty clear. Now, if it goes to Kamala, what would they say about that? Huh? What would they say about that? So one of the things that no one is talking about is the election interference that is actually coming from the UK. Now, this is something that I didn't really do any research, and I didn't pull any slides for it. But actually, there's more evidence of UK interference in the 2024 election than there is of Russia. So take it from there. You can see what that's all about. And let's see. Oh, wow. Edelwolf says Kentucky has an amendment up for a ballot this year to not let idiots or insane people vote. Wow. Is that true? Or are you just pulling my leg? That sounds like Kentucky disinformation. Prove me wrong. No, Edelwolf. Wow. So who is going to determine if someone is an idiot or someone is insane? That's the question that I have. Who makes that decision? Wow. What else we got going on in the news? I want to show you guys. Yes, it's true. Part of the whole. It's part of the whole have to be a citizen to vote. Interesting. Interesting. I'd like to learn more about that. Just exactly who is going to determine who's an idiot and who's not, who's insane, who's not. Yeah. Do Karens qualify? I'd like to know that. So if you know that, if Karens qualify as insane, please drop it down in the comments. Let me know. So what else have I got? Man, I got Telegram going off. Do I have anything big here? And I got to see what's going on. No, I don't. Not at the moment. All right, back to the live stream. So when will we know? When will we know the election results? So check this out. When will we see election results? So according to this, we will not know anything until about 5 p.m. on Tuesday. Correction. This is 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Time on Tuesday. Most results from Georgia and North Carolina, but if these races are close, they may not be called. We can expect partial results from Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Michigan, and near complete results from Virginia, Florida, Ohio, and Colorado. Wow, and if you think about those states right there, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, right there, those are big, huge states that played key roles in the 2020 election, along with Georgia, Ohio, Colorado. You know, basically with all these states right here, you could probably just call the election right there with these states. So that's incredible. But by 10 p.m. to midnight, most results from Georgia, North Carolina, potentially Michigan. But if these races are close, they may not be called. I wonder if we're going to have another pipe burst in Georgia at midnight. Wow. So Wednesday at midnight to 6 a.m. Wednesday, we should have most results from Wisconsin and Michigan. This is crazy. This is just insane that we cannot count our elections within a few hours. I mean, accurately. I mean, within 6 to 8 hours after the polls close, we cannot have a definitive winner. Other countries do it. Why does not the United States? Why not the United States? So it is crazy. So I plan to probably stay up. I'm going to stay up late. I may stay up all night long just to see how this election is turning. And of course, if you remember what happened on 2020, I remember watching it. You know, Trump is way ahead, even though Fox News called Arizona early. That was about 9 p.m. Central Time when they called Arizona. And then I remember going to bed about midnight. Trump's ahead. I mean, by a big margin. I wake up at 7 a.m. the next morning, and Joe Biden is president of the United States. I mean, president-elect. And it's like, what the hell just happened? How did this happen? Yeah, it's just absolutely crazy the way that happened. But so there you go. That's when you can expect to hear some results sometime today or tomorrow. But we're also hearing that it may be 7 to 10 days in some states. Can you believe that? 7 to 10 days in some states to count all the ballots. And then I've been hearing as well that the election results that you will hear that will be announced are only same day in-person votes. So some states don't report their early voting tallies until much later. So the immediate results that come out are those that are tabulated from same day voting. This is BS. All right. It's just like, so we're going to do the same day votes. We're going to do the same day votes so that we know who's winning and who's losing and where we need to make up votes, right? Because we've got the ballots back in the warehouse, right? In the back room. And then we can, I don't know, have a pipe burst or send everybody home at midnight. And then at 4 a.m., run the ballots. I don't know. I'm just spitballing. But yeah, that is crazy. Let's see. What are we? I'm looking at the comments here. Yeah. So how many of you guys are going to stay up tonight? How late are you going to stay up? And check out these results, because I think it's going to be really, really tight. It's not going to be a clean win. This is just my opinion. I don't think it'll be a clean sweep one way or the other. I mean, have you seen the crowds? I mean, wow. The disparity in crowd size between President Trump and Vice President Harris at their rallies is just incredible. In the past 10 days, I have seen such support for President Trump that is just freaking incredible. And the support that you see for Kamala, basically A-list, B-list, Hollywood losers, and just, I mean, does anybody really take anybody in Hollywood serious? Okay, these people are actors. They get paid to act. I guarantee you they're being paid to act at these rallies as well. Freaking incredible. But people, still some people hold a lot of these Hollywood elites as gods, as heroes. Freaking incredible. Incredible. But yeah, so I have seen that quite a bit. And yeah, so what happens? What happens if Trump gets to 270 before Kamala does? What happens? He gets to 270 and it is over. Well, do you think they're just going to roll over? Yeah, America wins, Dettel Wolf, but he still has to take office. So, and then we've got some just outstanding people in government, like this character right here, Jamie Raskin, senator, who has said publicly, let folks cast their votes for Trump if that's their choice, but mark my words, we won't be certifying the election. He might win, but we'll ensure he doesn't step foot in the Oval Office. So much for the democratic process, so much for democracy, so much for freedom. Wow, power to the people, not Jamie Raskin. Yeah, so it's not going to be easy. Not going to be easy. And man, I'm just remembering, I didn't even put, what do you guys think about Peanut? Y'all know who I'm talking about? Peanut, the squirrel who was euthanized because they wanted to see if he had rabies. Yeah. Well, check this out. Before we get to Peanut, sounds like Raskin is calling for an insurrection. Absolutely. Absolutely. This is exactly what they blamed President Trump for in 2020 and actually in 2021, as it was in January. And it sounds like Raskin is asking for a ass kicking. Yeah, let's just go ahead and say it, call it what it is. But yeah, here's a good one. Grim 44. I wonder how many dead people will be voting this time. Incredible. There was a court decision, Supreme Court decision, and I can't remember which state because I have read so much news. It is just coming and going. That the Supreme Court sided with the state. And if you know the name of the state, drop it down in the comments. But they can go ahead and remove non-citizens from the voter rolls. So there was an actual lawsuit against removing these non-citizens from the voter rolls. And I want to say it was Virginia. Yep. Edelwolf says Virginia. Thank you so much. Yeah, absolutely. Incredible. Incredible. And if Trump wins, Antifa, Democrats dressed in black will start problems. Much like the problems that were happening, we'll say, in the aftermath of the parliamentary elections in Georgia. Now, not Georgia Peach, but Georgia in the south of Russia, that area, that Georgia. Yeah, and very much sounds like Antifa there as well. Wow, wow, wow. What else we got here? Raymond says Trump's win will cause mass hysteria, protests, riots, property damage, huge increase in mental illness. The liberal media will encourage all of the above. The liberal media is encouraging all of the above, and especially when you have a sitting senator like Jamie Raskin basically saying, we're not going to allow it to happen. Really? Wow. Wow. So, yeah, they're asking for trouble, and, they're going to get it. They are going to get it. Which brings me to Peanut. So, if you don't know the story of Peanut, I'm sure you do. We kind of read, this audience kind of reads and stays up with the same news. But Peanut is now, it's interesting because I've seen people talk about this, and they say there's genocide going on in other parts of the world that I'm not going to mention because I don't want to get banned on YouTube, but you know where they're happening. And most Americans just don't even think about it. The government barges in with guns into a person's home. The only reason they go in with guns is because if you resist, they're going to shoot you. Think about that. So they go into your home, they take your pets, and they euthanize them. Wow. If they can do that, what do you think they can do to you? Right? That's incredible. Incredible. But the way this went down, the way this happened, has galvanized support for Peanut, and has just really opened up a big can of worms about government overreach. And it's plain to see, people can see it, and people have had enough of it. And it's taken Peanut and his brother, a raccoon, and I can't remember the raccoon's name, sorry about that, but it has taken that to really just galvanize the American people to say enough is enough with government overreach. So, yeah, incredible, incredible. Mr. Wonderful, thank you. How are you doing? And we've got Charlie here saying, what's this? Department of Defense facing significant backlash after releasing a directive which took effect. Latest DOD directive accused. What is this? Authorizing the U.S. military to use lethal force against American citizens. Yeah, there was a lot of talk about that, and I haven't read into that, but that is pretty scary. It is pretty scary. So you wonder what could be happening in the next 24 to 48 hours back in the States. Yeah, incredible. Incredible. Yeah. So one of the things that, how many of you guys have used AI? How many of you have used Chat GPT to ask questions or to maybe Grok. Grok is X, former Twitter's AI. I use Grok a lot, but ChatGPT, very interesting. Let me show you this slide right here. So somebody went on to ChatGPT and said, refine this tweet. Many Republicans are against the Constitution of America. One should vote for Kamala Harris to save America. So here's what ChatGPT says. Some Republicans seem to be straying from the core principles of the U.S. Constitution. To protect our democracy and values, consider supporting Kamala Harris in the upcoming election. Wow. What a liberal, left-leaning piece of crap this is. Yeah, and then check this out. Refine this tweet. Many Democrats are against the Constitution of America. One should vote for Donald Trump to save America. What says ChatGPT? Oh, I'm sorry, but I can't assist with that. Wow. Wow. Incredible. Incredible. And Mr. Wonderful says that he uses ChatGPT all the time and has constant arguments, which he wins most of the time. You know, it's interesting that Russia banned access to ChatGPT early on. I mean, within maybe a few weeks of ChatGPT coming online, because I remember I was able to access it from here. And then suddenly gone. And now I pretty much understand why they did that. So just incredible liberal bias out there. So what else have we got to talk about? Let's see what we have here in the comments. A liberal would say to protect our democracy, and a conservative would say to protect our constitutional republic. Yeah, those are pretty much, I would agree with that. That those would be words that would be used by either side. Woozy Polar Bear, welcome to the chat. Hello, Eddie from Novosibirsk. I'm an American expat and find the U.S. government overreaches with their power to a level beyond acceptable. I also don't trust AI. Well, I certainly don't trust ChatGPT. I don't use it. I do use Grok. And Grok is part of X.com, and this is Elon's X. And if you're a premium member, you get access to Grok. And Grok sometimes is hit or miss, but it's actually pretty good. Pretty good. I use it, but I'm always going to verify before I go down that road. Mr. Wonderful says, I asked ChatGPT who was the first king of Ireland. Its response constantly sidelines my ancestry. And then I bring up my ancestor's name and then agrees with my ancestor's lineage. Yeah, it's crazy. Crazy. And Elon is my favorite African American. Yeah, I'll tend to agree with that. But is there a slot of political controversy? Herbal Annie, is there slot of political controversy in Russia? I don't understand your question. So maybe if there was a typo, please resubmit your question. And we'll see if we can take that. Interesting. Anyone have an idea how long they are going to? Well, Grim 44, that's what we were talking about. It's right here. So it could take, as you see, Thursday and beyond. Thursday and beyond. They actually put this out. Results may continue to trickle in from all the states. Trickle in, particularly Pennsylvania, Nevada, and Arizona. You got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. Pennsylvania, Nevada, Arizona. Who remembers those three states from 2020? In Nevada, ballots can continue to arrive through 11/9, and voters can cure ballots through the 12th of November. Late counting in PA, in Pennsylvania, we expect tens of thousands of provisional ballots that will be counted starting the 8th of November. In North Carolina, there may be challenge ballots that are not counted until 11/15. If results are very close in any state, the race still might not be called. This is 2024, and we cannot count votes in all 50 states within 6 to 8 hours. Other countries do it. I'm just saying. So, I'm not a fool. I can put 1 + 1 together, and it doesn't equal 2 in this case. So, mail-in votes shouldn't be allowed in elections. I'm a firm believer that all votes should be in person. Mail can be intercepted or lost. That is true. That is true. Did you guys hear about the controversy with the Department of Defense didn't send ballots to their servicemen overseas? So I don't know how many servicemen and women were affected by this, but they didn't get to vote. Yeah, read up on that. That's so sad. Our own government can't keep up with that. Incredible. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, Arizona was a mess in the last election. We got Mute, who says, I saw illegals in my small town DMV trying to obtain ID. It turned out to be a voter fraud gig out of Georgia, shuttling illegals to various places to stack the vote. True story. I believe it. Because, and I tried to save this tweet. I thought I did, but I don't think I did. But there was a tweet, and if you know which one it is, there was a visitor to the United States, and I believe it was to the state of California. Obviously, they are not American citizens, but they said, hey, we don't need an ID to vote here. Why not go vote in the American election? I don't know if they did or not. They said they were going to. But wow. Just think about that for a moment. Think about how could that happen here in Russia? I mean, it's impossible. It would be freaking impossible for that to happen here. It's just, I don't get it. Poutine to Pelmini Pathways says, I could see Michigan definitely going for Trump once again, even being an Arab Muslim majority that voted for Ilhan Omar, because Muslim Americans have strong conservative values around family values. This is absolutely true. And I think they know that Ilhan Omar is no friend of, I'll just say it. I don't believe she's a friend of Islam. I don't believe she's a friend of America. Let's just put it that way. And I know most Islamic Americans probably feel the same way. Yeah, Arizona officials have estimated that general election results could take about 2 weeks. Are you freaking kidding me? How does that even happen? I don't get it. I don't get it at all. Crazy. What else we got here? Yeah, if we get caught committing voter fraud, that's a felony. Keyword is getting caught. Absolutely. So how do you get caught? If there's no ID, there's no accountability. If you have no ID, you don't know who's committing the fraud. Okay, it's just that simple. Crazy, crazy. And it's like of course, I've got some strong feelings about this, like most Americans do. But I remembered back during the COVID years where we had to take a jab so that you could get a little card so that you could travel. That was their deal. You've got to do that. So not only do you have to show your ID before you could board an airplane, you also had to show a card that you had a particular vaccination to board that plane to travel. But to vote, nah, we don't need ID. It's even illegal in California to ask to see your ID. Freaking incredible. Yeah. This is the United States, 2024. It is a crazy nation. And that's one of the things that it's kind of silly. But coming to Russia, when I first came to Russia in 2018, and then I went back to the States, I just realized how much more common sense there was here in Russia. Not about everything. Not everything in Russia is perfect. Okay? It's not. But for the most part, and especially just the common sense of people and the common sense of government, it just freaking works. May not work smoothly, and it might take several trips to a government office to get something done, but it will get done. So yeah, just incredible. Yep. Woozy says, I couldn't enter the grocery store without ID or a QR code. Yep. Remember those days? Yep. Yep. They did it to us. Yeah, it isn't easy for voter fraud to occur 2016, 20, and 24 as it is and was for your dog prior to 2007, 2008 to obtain a credit card or a mortgage from a bank. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And Mute says, if everybody thinks the same, somebody ain't thinking. Or if somebody thinks the same, if everybody thinks the same, maybe they're under some sort of coercion. We've seen that happen as well. So
I think you're incorrect.
Tell me about it.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I went with my voter ID and they let me vote. Can you tell?
In what country? No, I can't see it. What is it? I still can't see it.
There. Oh.
Oh. I thought that was your I voted sticker.
It's my ID sticker.
Yeah. All right. That's cool.
No, speaking of voter fraud and rigging the elections, Colorado decided that they were going to allow people to vote remotely. And, when I checked a month ago, they said no. Only if you were military. So now they've changed it that if you're a foreigner living in a foreign country, but you're still a resident of their lovely state, you could vote remotely. But guess what? Since I didn't vote in the by-election 2 years ago, they removed my wife and I from the voter rolls. So, but you can register online and then you can vote. Well, except it takes 3 days to process the registration. So, you know, unlike Texas, which allowed you to vote, they didn't let me vote.
Well, so sorry, man. And
It's
the
okay
voting,
because my guy wasn't on the ballot anyway.
yeah. And actually, I will let everybody know I did not vote in the election
Oh my
because
God.
I sent off the paperwork after the cutoff date. And so the registrar in my county in Texas did not accept it. End of story. So, okay, I tried.
So you actually had to send paperwork off?
Yes. So the process was I had to fill in a form from Election Commission, I believe, United States, requesting an absentee ballot, and then that information gets sent to my voter registrar's office. The registrar would then send me a form that I would have to fill in and actually print out and sign. It's got to be signed. Then I scan it, send it back to them. Then they would email me the ballot. I would print out the ballot. I would vote. I would have to sign the ballot. So it's not private, it's not secure. Scan it again, send it back. So, yeah.
Well, Colorado simplified it even more. If I had gotten it in time, all I had to do was go to their website, click the box and say that, yes, I'm still a resident of Colorado. And yes, this is my name and my birth date, and that I am still a US citizen, and submit it. And 72 hours from now, I'm registered again. So, I could have registered 40 different guys online.
Wow. That's crazy.
I debated registering my wife and my daughter, and so yeah, not secure at all. And then they would email the ballot, like you say, non-secure.
Non-secure, yeah. Mr. Wonderful Texas for sure has Trump picked, especially after all the illegal migration. You would think, but don't underestimate Harris County, Dallas County, Travis County, Bear County. These are very, very blue areas. This is Houston, Austin, Dallas, San Antonio. So you got to watch those. But Texas could actually turn purple. We'll have to see what happens. But Texas has a very good attorney general, so hopefully it's going to stay red. So.
Well, so did you talk about the guy who isn't going to certify Trump if he wins?
Oh, you mean this loser?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep, we talked about that. Insurrection in the making.
Yeah. I didn't know that he had anything to do with certifying the election. I thought that was the Electoral College.
That's the Electoral College. And I want to say it's not the Senate that votes. It's actually the House of Representatives.
Yeah.
To certify it. And he's a senator. So basically what he means by when he says, mark my words, we won't be certifying this, we is conspiratory in nature, because it means that although it's not my responsibility, but I have a hand in it, that's conspiracy. And who all is involved in that? Good question.
Yeah. It is this. Let's see. I was just looking up to see who gets to certify it.
I want to say it's the House of Representatives. Yeah, Texas has become blue in many, many of the large metropolitan areas. That's for sure.
Yeah, I want to know what's going on with this not allowing the poll results before 5 p.m. Eastern time. I mean, that's half the fun of it, is seeing everybody predicting stuff that they have absolutely no way of knowing for the next couple of weeks anyway.
Well, and it's not like it's going to matter.
Yeah.
Good evening, Luis. Thank you for joining. Because I was showing this earlier. When will we see election results? And it starts at Tuesday, 7 p.m., and it goes to Thursday and beyond. And of course, my favorite is Thursday and beyond, where it says results may continue to trickle in from all states, particularly Pennsylvania, Nevada, and Arizona. Gee, where have I heard those three states mentioned before?
I don't know.
Incredible. Incredible that we haven't learned anything. And of course, people always say, well, Trump said that there was fraud and that the election was stolen in 2020, but he tried to sue and there was no standing. So that's the argument that we hear. It's like, just because a judge has the power to say, I don't want to hear this case has no merit, and they're the authority on it, doesn't mean that the crime or whatever they're alleging didn't happen. It just means I don't want to hear it.
So it says here, electoral votes must be received by the president of the Senate no later than the fourth Wednesday in December, which this year is Christmas Day. And Congress will meet in a joint session on January 6th, and they will announce the results of the Electoral College vote and declare who's the president or vice president. So we won't know for sure until January 6th.
Correct.
And it's a joint Congress meeting.
So it is joint. Okay, it's both.
Yeah.
So, okay, maybe not conspiracy for Jamie Raskin, but still, what does he know that we don't? What does he know?
Still that we.
Yeah. What is it that he knows that we don't know? And what are they going to try to use? Who knows?
He's just a talking head anyway.
Well, most of them are. So we are coming up on...
Edelwolf brings up an interesting one. So the vice president has to certify the results, but the vice president is a presidential candidate. So how does that work? That doesn't sound very unbiased.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. And I wonder how that would play out. But we've had vice presidents. Have we had a vice president elected? Yeah, we had
Sure.
Bush 41 in recent history, in recent memory. Who else?
I mean, reality is it isn't very, unbiased to begin with. 2020, Trump and Pence. Pence declared Biden the winner, but a guy who's running for office really shouldn't be the guy who's putting his stamp on things. Yeah, what happened to impartiality? So you started to say we're coming up on something.
I say, and we're coming up on pretty much a hard stop here in about 5 minutes. And really didn't have a lot to talk about. I mean, we talked a little bit about Russia. this story is absolutely going to get bigger. So expect to hear more about Russia, Russia, Russia. Of course, we got
And-
Jamie Raskin.
And what does that have to do with Russia? That picture.
Oh, this says Russian disinformation accelerates toward the election. And then
Yeah.
you didn't
Because
see
they
the
say
video
so.
because they say so. But I'll play this one more time so you can see this.
That's the only places that we've heard about one bomb threat. Have you heard any other verifiable threats at any point?
We've heard some threats that were of Russian origin, and so I don't know how to describe if that's viable. We don't think they are, but in the interest of public safety, you always check that out, and we'll just continue to be very responsive when we hear about stuff like that. We identified the source, and it was from Russia.
Can you elaborate on that? What kind of threats from Russia?
As he said, it's a bomb threat.
So of
Yeah.
Russia, and you're confident it was the Russians that did it?
Yeah, just like we had the DDoS attack on Monday, October 14th, 420,000, pings, denial of service from Russians. So we added that interface that said, I am a human, I'm not a robot. So they're up to no mischief, it seems, and they don't want us to have a smooth, fair, and accurate election, and anything they can get us to fight among ourselves, they can count that as a victory. So that tells you a little bit about the Russians. They're not our friends. Anyone that thinks they are hasn't been reading the newspapers. Thank you so much.
Who reads newspapers? Who still reads newspapers is what I want to know.
I don't know. I was looking for newspapers to wrap some fish guts in the other day and try to find a newspaper somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. Wow. This
And
guy is just
because they had threats. Yeah, you know what? It wouldn't be an election without blaming the Russians for something. It isn't news if you don't blame the Russians. But
right.
he forgot. The news story is that it's the Chinese.
Really? I hadn't heard that one.
Oh yeah, they've been trying to blame the Chinese lately.
I was thinking
okay.
the UK.
Yeah, it's okay. Trump will win. The special military operation will be ended on the 5th. And, he and Putin will go out. Oh, here. God. I'm
What you got?
just not with it today. I'm so behind, and we'll save that. Let's upload this. Gotta convert it to a PDF.
Yeah, that's such a pain with StreamYard.
Yeah.
How you've got to do things.
Good thing it's a Mac. You can right click and say convert. So you'll like this one. Upload. This is former president. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. Former President Donald Trump on vacation in process going. In Anapa, Russia. 1951.
Well, there's your conspiracy right there.
There you go. So we know that the Russians are involved in getting Trump elected because he cut the deal then.
He cut the deal way back in the day. I hadn't seen that one.
Yeah. He even had the hair back in the day. Yeah, somebody sent that to me earlier today and then told me that Anapa was in Crimea.
Oh, no, it's not. It's in Russia.
Yeah, close, but yeah.
Wow. But yeah. No, guys, I may be on again with another live when we actually do have breaking news. But I'm going to give everybody my prediction. Then I would like to hear your, Kevin, your prediction for how this thing is going to go down. And the thing is, I have no proof whatsoever, but I have a feeling that Trump is going to win the popular vote in many, many states, and he may actually hit that 270. But I believe there's going to be a lot of controversy before they call it. So that's just my gut feeling of what I've got or what I sense. So how about you, Kevin?
My gut feeling is Trump will win the popular vote and Harris will take the electoral college.
That could be a possibility as well. Could be a possibility. And that's happened before, actually. So
Yeah. Let's see. Al Gore and oh yeah.
that was Bush. Yeah. That was Bush 43. So no, it was, yeah, Al Gore in Florida, of all places. So, well, all right, guys, we are right
Hey.
at 10. Hopefully,
Right.
next time we see you both, we'll be celebrating good news. Hopefully.
Yeah. Did you use the thumbnail I sent you?
I did. Yeah.
Okay.
Because see,
so
here's the
we'll
thing.
be celebrating good news and Putin will be president of the United States.
That's exactly what I was about to say, is because no matter who wins, Kamala or Donald, Vlad is still going to control the world. So
Yep.
it's not going to make much of a difference. But anyway, guys, thanks for hanging out with us. Kevin, thanks for joining. Better late than never. And
Glad I could get here.
you bet. All right, guys, we'll see you all soon. Hopefully with good
Do
news.
svidaniya.
До свидания.
Spokojnie noci. Dobry dzień.